Welcome to Decmax. We've got a couple of stories to share with you. One is what we call our original biscuit, and what we've evolved into is using our Pro biscuit. What I'd like to just step through is just the difference in the system. The core of the difference is really the difference in the timber. The fastening systems are equally as strong, it's the same screw fix, the budget's the same for the fixings. What varies is the board and the installation process. The timber itself, as you might be able to see, it's normal 19mm board. You'll vary in width and you'll vary in timber species. We cut a groove in the side of the board like this. A biscuit cutting tool is a 100mm blade that spins. Let me just get that for you. This is a biscuit cutting tool. It's a standard off the shelf. You can vary how much you wish to spend on it. The blade is actually, it has a controlled depth, how far out of this housing it comes. So that when you actually push and insert it, it actually determines the depth of the cut and the width of the cut on the front. It will leave a cut in the side of the board with a half moon, depending on how deep you've cut it. The depth of the cut, if I was looking at the board from the top view, how deep I cut it from here to here also varies how wide the cut is at the front, because it's actually 100mm. But the biscuit is actually different to that specification, except for the arc. It suits a 100mm blade. The width is 65mm. So imagine if my biscuit is sitting in here. I've cut it wider, or I should say deeper. That allows me to move the biscuit to be centered on the joist. If it's not centered, it wants to what we call spoon out. All you do is just put another cut in. So this is actually where the biscuit sits. It has a little leg on it, and the biscuit and the hole, and that's how you get the pressure into the side of the board. Remember, the purpose of this is to get away from surface fix, nails and screws. This secret fixing has a flat cut in the board, and the question often comes up, will it hold water? No. Actually, the driest part of decking, if you remember, is this gap here is the driest part, because from the front, the airflow up this way dries the side of the board faster than water sitting on the top. So the biscuit fixing system has a little step in the process, and this goes back to just an installation idea. The board will have a groove in the side of it, and the biscuit, you insert the biscuit, and I'll draw that for you, has a leg on it, and it's a T shape. That leg will be flush with the joist material. Now, what you do is you actually fasten the screw at probably a 10-degree angle. The screw itself has got a pan head. So when it actually comes down, the pan head, that downward force on the underside of the head of the screw is extremely strong. If you use a countersunk screw, which is terrible, it'll just drive through. It's very weak, and please make a conscious decision that the pan head screw over a countersunk screw gives you insurance. Now when we actually fasten this screw through, it's actually coming down into the joist, and the pan head is sitting here. If you were to fasten it all the way, this wants to deflect down a little bit because it's not supported. What I'd like you to always remember is just leave this up maybe 10mm. It leaves that just to sit, because remember, I've got another piece of board here coming this way. I need to engage that a little bit. See, I've got about 5mm. Just catch the edge of the biscuit itself. Clamp it down using our Decmax clamps. Clamp it in place. Go back and fasten the screw. It'll sit down into a rebate. Then you simply apply pressure with the clamp to push it in, and it's set. What that leaves you is a 3mm gap. You can vary that gap by simply inserting a packer of some sort by the dimension. If you want a 5mm gap, you insert a piece of material that is 5mm, sit it on top of the biscuit. When the board comes in, it stops on your packer, fasten the screw down, bring your board in, remove it after you're finished. That's the process for what we call the original biscuit. What I'd like to go to is now the Pro Biscuit. Welcome back. What I'd like to do is touch on the Pro Biscuit. The Pro Biscuit was invented solely by listening to the contractors, the tradespeople and the industry, and especially DIY customers. What we found was the original biscuit that we've just touched on. It works fine, it's extremely strong, it's still 4 times stronger than any surface fixing, but it took time in labour and it had a decision to make about using a biscuit cutter. We don't want you to have to use a tool, but you now have a choice. You can still buy the original biscuit, but now we're going to offer you what we call the Pro Biscuit. The Pro Biscuit, the first thing I'll talk about will be the timber, and then I'll talk about the biscuit. The timber actually comes end matched. I'm not too sure how well you can see this, but the end of each piece of board at both ends is grooved to receive what I'll show you in a minute will be a biscuit for joining. That means you don't have to cut and join on joists. It's so important from a trade contractor's point of view that I don't have to have someone measuring and cutting every board. The board is also profiled. It's got a very unique design on the side of it. So it's end matched. It also has a groove. Now you'll notice it tapers up and tapers down. So when the biscuit, if you recall from the original biscuit story, what we'd have to do is to do it in 2 parts. Put the biscuit in, put the screw in, leave the screw up by 10mm, then bring the board in, then go back and fasten. What we're now going to show you is the new biscuit. I'll do it in a larger drawing for you. The new biscuit actually comes in a wedge shape. It's got a wider foot on the bottom, so it's more stable. It actually comes up and has a rebate in the top. Now, like anything, if you're putting a wedge into a receiving opposite, they complement and will slide in rather than 2 flat wedges coming into each other. So now I can put the screw in, keep that 5 to 10 degree angle of screw fix. This board then comes in. I've just halved the installation time. I've also ensured that you have high quality timber, high quality fastening. This gap you have a choice now. You have a 3mm, and for in particular the fire rated areas of Australia and any fire rated areas, we have a brand new biscuit which gives you a 5mm gap. You have a 3mm biscuit or a 5mm biscuit. This determines the gap on the top. The reason the industry wants to ensure that this allows for more airflow, it allows for water to go through, it allows for small amber to fall through those gaps, but equally you could use the 5mm biscuit when you put onto metal joists, or if you're close to ground, I would highly recommend the 5mm biscuit because you want to stimulate airflow. The bigger the gap between the boards, the better the airflow, the less chance of effect on the underside of the timber decking. Moisture, over concrete. You must try and stimulate the airflow. Airflow through equals high performing timber. So I just go through that again. We're going to have timber for you that is grooved both sides. It is end matched at both ends. You don't have to cut to fit on a joist. The biscuit is a different shape. The engagement into the board is easy. You can fasten the screw 100%. Remember the key thing, a pan head screw. A pan head screw equals maximum force. Maximum force equals maximum strength. The converse of that would be, if someone says that their fittings use a countersunk screw into a biscuit, please don't use it. It will just pull through the biscuit it doesn't matter because they only use cheap material. That will keep driving all the way through and the head will end up down into the joist. And imagine if the wood is forcing upwards, there is no resistance, it's like putting it on a slippery slope. So we've done everything we possibly can by listening to the industry, by listening to the contractors. I've listened to an awful lot of people. We've actually now completely reinvented timber decking. You're going to have no nails and screws in the surface. You're going to end up with this beautiful, beautiful timber. The biscuit simply fits in the side. You screw fix down. You bring the next board in and repeat the process. We've halved the time. We've probably taken 30% of the labour out because you don't have to biscuit cut. You don't have to cut and measure to fit on a joist. The biscuits and screws are the same price as the original. Yes, there's a premium cost to prepare this timber for you. Please understand that this timber is high quality. This is as good as internal flooring, if not better. The moisture content is controlled. We take our timber from log right through a process that gives you the best performing timber. We also have very good guidelines. Please go to our data sheets. It's going to give you great information about how to build close to ground. What about the gaps? What about fire rating? What about specifications for local councils? We're really enthusiastic about trying to provide this information for you so you can make a decision, and I look forward to working with you. Thank you so much for taking the time to look. Bye-bye.